Thank you for joining us. This is Wealth in the Winner's Circle with financial advisor Harley Shanklin of the RDW Financial Group right here in Indiana. I'm Spike Spangle. Harley, what's on your mind this week?
What's on my mind this week is retirement by the numbers, Spike. You know, when it comes to retirement, there are so many numbers, and by numbers I mean ages, that are very important and vital to the retirement planning process. There's a number of them out there, whether it's 50, 62, 65, 70. There's everything different comes along with these different ages. And unfortunately, more times than not, we're just not aware of the impact and importance of paying attention to those numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's hop right into them because we've got a lot of those birthday numbers to go through. Starting out with 50. At age 50, what is the retirement significance here?
Sure. That's the first age at which it really becomes important to really start paying attention to your retirement planning out there. For those of you out there who may be approaching that or even past 50, it's important because that's the point at which you can do what are known as catch-up contributions to your 401k, 403b, or even traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs. Once you reach that magical age of 50, the government allows you to increase those contributions that you're able to make to those accounts that you weren't able to do before.
Some of those numbers, so into an individual retirement account, your IRA, put $7,000. Past the age of 50, you can put an extra $1,000 in there to make that $8,000 a year. In our 401ks, 403bs, it's $23,500 before the age of 50. An extra $7,500. These numbers often get adjusted for inflation as well. They tend to go up over time, so that's what they are for this year, making a total of, over the age of 50, $31,000 that you can save into your own retirement account at work. But Harley, how many times when you talk to folks, even past their 50s, they say, how much are you saving for your retirement in those work accounts? And they say, I'm saving up to the match.
That's very oftentimes what the case is they're contributing up to the match, whether that's 3%, 4%, 6%, whatever. And the question becomes is, are they saving enough? Are you out there right now saving enough? Are you aware that you have the ability to make those catch-up contributions to those accounts, and are you making sure that you're maximizing them, especially if you are quickly approaching retirement? If you're 2, 3, 5 years out from retirement, now is the time to begin looking at that. The earlier the better is going to put you on the right track to get you there.
I appreciate that you also like to talk to either the folks who feel like they're behind or are procrastinators, because the name of your program is START. Let's get started on the retirement planning. But here's the thing, at $31,000 into a retirement account, plus your matching that you're getting from the employer, plus hopefully growth that's happening in the accounts, even if you feel like you're behind, those are some big chunks of change. I think the first year at maximizing might feel the hardest, but once you do that 2 or 3 or 4 years in a row, start to see that adding up, we're starting to look at some good retirement numbers. If you're doing, is just doing up to the match, is that going to be enough for self-funding for our own retirements, Harley?
More than likely not, Spike. More than likely, we are going to need to take advantage of those increased amounts that we can contribute above and beyond whatever the match is. We want to make sure, especially in those final years, that you out there preparing for retirement are doing everything you can to build up enough dollars, because let's face it, in today's day and age, retirement is on your shoulders. We no longer have those company pensions that we can rely upon. And for those out there who are lucky enough to have it, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be taking advantage of these opportunities either, because it still applies to you, and we never know what's going to happen in the future to those pensions, to Social Security, anything. So the more money that we can help you get saved today, maybe put up with, I hate to say it this way, Spike, a little bit of temporary pain in our cash flow can help make our retirement just that much better. And that's what we want to see for everyone out there across the Indianapolis area, Indiana, as well as across the country. Because, Spike, as you know, we have clients in 32 states across the country. Wow. We know that clients out there move. For those of you watching, maybe you're living here in Indianapolis, but you think, oh, Harley, when I retire, I'm going to move to Florida. So why do I need to work with an advisor here in Indiana? Well, guess what? We have plenty of clients down in Florida who transition from here down to there. We have clients across the country that we're still able to work with, thankfully, to this day and age of technology that we live in, that makes it so much easier.
Yeah, so you can do Zoom calls, and of course phone calls, and electronic submissions of things back and forth. Yep. You can keep in touch with your clients all around the country. That's amazing. So just doing what you can to the match, that might not get you all the way through your retirement years. So consider those catch-up contributions. If you're over the age of 50, hopefully you've already heard about them. Let's start saving as much as you can. Next number, that next birthday. Now, wait a minute. You gave me a half year. 59 and a half. That's not a birthday. That's like the middle of the year celebration of your birthday. What's 59 and a half?
So 59 and a half is the age at which we can now either start drawing from those retirement accounts without receiving a penalty. That's rule number one with it. The other opportunity that we find is for those workplace plans. That's the first point at which you can start doing those in-service distributions. And that's where we're rolling money out of the 401k plan and into a traditional IRA. There's no taxable impact to anybody. So you out there watching, there is no taxes you pay. But what it does do for you is it opens up the world of investments that you can now start building that retirement plan that we help you put together through our retirement start planning process to ensure that when you do get to retirement, that your portfolio is structured in such a way that you don't miss a beat. You transition successfully directly from your working life into your retirement life to where your income doesn't see any fluctuations. You still get to do all the things that you want to do, travel, play golf, all of those fun things, but it takes planning in order to do that.
So 59 and a half. So let's say I'm 60, 61, 62 years old. I know that I'm going to continue to work for another 2 or 3 years. You're saying in-service rollover allows me to pull the money out and kind of manage it myself. Now, are there tax implications? Are there right ways and wrong ways to do this in-service rollover?
There are definitely right ways and wrong ways to do it. And if we do it properly, there is no taxable impact. And the first thing that we want to pay attention to is that we're rolling that money directly into another account and we're not taking it in our own name. That can become a problem and cause a number of issues if we don't know all of the rules. So for simplicity's sake, for those out there watching, wondering, is an in-service distribution right for you? Well, the first opportunity to find that out is to call that number at the bottom of the screen, schedule your free consultation, and we can take you through what that process would look like and how exactly to do it to ensure that you don't trip over any tax bombs, anything like that, and help open that world so you can either manage it, work with a financial professional like all of us here at RDW Financial Group to get you on the right track to make sure that you are taking advantage of all these important numbers.
As financial advisor Harley Shanklin was just saying, call that phone number right now down on the bottom of the screen. Another tool you can use as well is open up your phone to the camera function, point it at this QR code. You can click on it and schedule your own appointment right there. More of your retirement by the numbers right after this.
As a kid, I wanted nothing more than to be a hero. But little did I know I would actually get that opportunity, and it really started for me. The catalyst was 9/11. And as the war on terror continued to unfold, I put my money where my mouth was. And I ended up landing with the 101st Airborne Division and became a light infantry medic with them, and I spent a total of 28 months deployed overseas. I had the opportunity to serve with some of the greatest men and women that this country has to offer. And I had the blessing and honor to meet my wife through that journey. And after 10 years of serving in active duty, we started to build a family. Our son Leo was born. And I quickly realized that it wasn't the environment that I wanted to raise a family in. It meant moving around, and it meant risking my life in ways that may put me in a position that I may not be there to play catch with my son, right? To walk my daughter down the aisle eventually. And so I started looking for other opportunities, and that was when my father-in-law came to me, and he ran a financial planning and wealth management firm in Indianapolis. The relationships that he was able to build with his clients, it really resonated with me because I felt that same care with those men that I took care of overseas. And so I made the leap, became a financial advisor, and I like to think that I've continued that mission. Rather than their medical hero, I'm their financial hero.
Welcome back to Wealth in the Winner's Circle with financial advisor Harley Shanklin of the RDW Financial Group. We are trying to help you with your retirement birthday numbers. Which ones do you need to pay attention to? We did 50, 59 and a half. 62 looks to be the next number I see coming up. What's significant about 62?
Yeah, so a couple of things. These numbers are important. I know for many of us, our viewers out there watching, we tend to get in this mindset of like, it's just another birthday, just another day, doesn't mean anything. Well, when it comes to your retirement retirement planning, it can mean a lot. And so beyond 59 and a half, we then go to 62, which is the earliest point at which we can begin to claim our Social Security. And this is, Spike, one of the most important dates and ages that we have conversations with our clients about, is because of this whole idea and things that we read in the news about Social Security Administration is only going to be able to pay 75% of their obligation here in less than 10 years at this point is what they're projecting. And so when does it make sense to begin claiming that? Well, the one thing we have to first realize for all of you out there watching, if you claim Social Security at age 62, you are locking in a 30% reduction in the amount you're going to receive, which not only impacts you, but it can also have an impact on those spousal benefits for our spouses. So we want to make sure that we are encompassing our Social Security claiming strategy into the rest of our retirement plan, and that starts at age 62. There's a couple other important ages that come immediately after that, 63 being the next one. And when we talk about age 63, what we're actually talking about is Medicare. Now, I know what you're thinking out there, everybody, is, well, Harley, I don't get to take Medicare until I'm 65. And I understand that. But here's what most folks don't realize is that when you go to claim for Medicare, they're going to look at your income and they're going to look 2 years back. And so 63 is that first age that they're going to do. So if we have an elevated income at that point, it may have an impact how much we pay on our Medicare Part B premiums. And if we're not thinking about that ahead of time, it may force us into a higher bracket where we're paying 80% more in our Medicare Part B premiums or more in that instance.
And would that include if you have turned on Social Security early and your income, could that even hurt what you're going to have to pay in Medicare because you've turned on Social Security?
Oh, there's a number of factors that play into this, and this is where, you know, we never have enough time in these episodes, Spike, unfortunately, to cover everything. And I apologize to everyone watching that we can't cover everything, but that's why scheduling that free consultation is so important, so we can take the time needed to dive into your situation and help you figure it out what your numbers are and what we need to pay attention to. But yes, claiming Social Security too early, not only does it lock in that permanent reduction, it can have an impact on how much you're paying for Medicare, as well as the fact that if you happen to still be working at age 62 or 63 before you reach that full retirement age, you may actually not even get your Social Security check, because if you make too much, you are going to be penalized and they are going to reduce your Social Security benefits. Now, Spike, they give you that money back, but they prorate it across an individual's life. So for those of you thinking, well, Harley, I'll just get it back later on. No. They're not going to send you a lump sum check for anything they held back. They're going to give it to you over your life expectancy, and that may not always be the best plan or the most efficient plan.
Yeah, and you'll probably see it as a few dollars here and there, probably not even really feeling it. No. So it is the most important part of that conversation. At 62, are you still working? And if you're making anything more than, you know, what an ice cream scooper makes down at your local ice cream shop, if you're making a decent salary, you're probably not going to be able to keep all that. So I understand the concern and the trigger that people want to, I'm going to take this Social Security early because I'm afraid it's not going to be there. Be careful if you're still working. Make sure that you speak with a professional, and also speak with a professional that's outside of the Social Security Administration. No offense to them, but they're not really there to help you with the financial planning advice.
They're there to give objective advice, not subjective. They can only provide you factual information. Here's what your benefit is. Here's what's available to you. That's it. The other important thing that we have to take into consideration when it comes to claiming Social Security is it's going to have an impact on our tax liability as well. So that's just another number we got to throw into this, because for most of you out there watching, in the state of Indiana, thankfully, they do not tax Social Security, but unfortunately, the federal government still does. It will still be counted within your taxable income. And so as we think about taxes, we want to make sure that we're including that in, because we don't want you to pay more taxes than you necessarily have to. And
it's one of the most important reasons to truly understand how much you owe in taxes on all of your tax-deferred accounts. Millions and millions of Americans, we've been saving tax-deferred for 3, 4, 4.5 decades. And we've got what we call this ticking tax time bomb, that when you turn on your Social Security, start taking from tax-deferred accounts, you're going to have to pay the taxes on those. So, free tool that Harley and the team have have put together for you is our tax test. Go to rdwtaxtest.com. You can type that into your browser, or you can scan this QR code over here with the camera function on your phone. Just open it up and then click on it when it activates. Take the RDW tax test right now. Few very simple inputs. And really just think about this. How much do you have saved in tax deferred accounts? What was your tax obligation, your tax bracket from last year? You're going to have to pay that amount. And what was amazing to me is when I used the number 500,000 one time, you said you could pay upwards of 200, 300,000 in tax. I'm like, that's more than half of it. What are you talking about? It's because if you don't start to roll those taxes out, that number keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger over time, right?
It does. And there's so many strategies that we can all take advantage of, whether someone is working with a financial professional or not. There are a number of strategies that you can use to help reduce that future tax bill, whether it's through things like Roth conversions, charitable giving, any number of things, or even how you all are out there saving for your retirement. There's a number of options that are available to make sure that you're maximizing every dollar that's coming in that you're saving, or every dollar that's coming out in your retirement, to make sure that you're not paying too much in taxes. But that takes having a plan and having a strategy. And that's what we do for everyone who calls and schedules that free consultation, whether it's the number at the bottom of your screen, we have operators standing by, or you can take out your cell phone, scan that QR code, and schedule your own appointment where we will take you through a systematic process to help you determine what those numbers are for you.
Yeah, free tools. Great educational advice. I think one more number I want to get in before the break, 65, you had mentioned it. So that's our Medicare. That's when everybody's allowed to sign up for Medicare. I guess I've always been wondering the question, what if you're still working at 65? Do you take the Medicare? Do you stay on the company plan? Is there a difference? Do you get to keep your doctors? I know there's a lot of Medicare right there, but I'm always curious. I'm like, well, what if I'm still working?
So this is a great thing. One thing I always like to tell everybody is, at RDW Financial Group, we partner with other experts and professionals. And when it comes to Medicare, we've partnered with the state of Indiana that we have come into our office twice a year, not a Medicare salesperson or anything like that, but a representative of the state of Indiana to come in, talk about, here's what Medicare Part B is, here's what Medicare Part A is, and all the things that you need to be aware of, because when it comes to Medicare, it is a complicated process. Now, when it comes to when do you have to sign up for it, if you are still working, participating in your employer plan, you can still do that. You don't have to sign up for Medicare. The question becomes is there any sort of cost savings that may come along with Medicare? And as we all know, Spike, healthcare is ridiculously expensive, whether it's in the private marketplace or through an employer. Many times Medicare can be a less expensive option, but that takes, once again, coming in and putting together a plan, because sometimes if somebody exits their employer plan, that may drop their spouse off the employer plan, who may not be eligible for Medicare. So there's a lot of factors that really come into considering when and how to sign up for Medicare.
And I had never known that before, that you have actual state representatives come in twice a year at RDW to talk about the Medicare, what things to be aware of. Fantastic to know that. Folks, everything we do here is holistic and comprehensive. Yes, wealth strategies are incredibly important, but how much risk should you be taking in your retirement years? Too much? Are you taking too little to make sure your money's going to last? How do you put together the income plan, the tax plan, your medical plan? That's exactly what the team does here, and you can get started on your own no-cost written financial plan right now. Call that phone number down at the bottom of the screen. Folks are standing by. They'll schedule an appointment for you. No cost, no obligation. More retirement by the numbers right after this.
Every Friday, we have our team training. The calendar's clear. We put the phones on the answering machine with a nice greeting, and we teach each other about our various roles and responsibilities within the office. So as an advisor, I might spend an hour talking about a specific aspect of retirement planning, not because the other team members directly deal in it, but it helps them if clients call in with questions, anything like that, that they at least have an understanding of it. And then I take that same opportunity from our team members. When it comes to our servicing department, I'm terrible at paperwork. I want them to tell me about how it's processed, how to do it. So when I'm sitting in front of a client talking about a new account that we may be opening, that I have a better understanding of how that process works. So the client can be clearly informed and know the expectations going forward for it.
Did you know Uncle Sam might be your partner in retirement? It's true. If you have a 401k, IRA, pension, or similar retirement accounts, they're all tax targets. But how much? Get our easy-to-use tax calculator and plug in the numbers. Go to rdwtaxtest.com and find out your potential tax hit.
Welcome back to Wealth in the Winner's Circle with financial advisor Harley Shanklin. I'm Spike Spangle. Today's retirement by the numbers. What are the big birthdays that you need to pay attention to? 66 and 67, those are your full retirement ages depending on your birth year. I don't know how many people actually wait till the age of 70 to take their Social Security, but it is part of a holistic conversation that Harley and the team are glad to help you with. Let's move beyond to the next big birthday, 73. What's at 73?
So 73 is now the magic age for those RMDs, or required minimum distributions. And Spike, that's the point at which the government says, okay, now you have to begin taking money out of those pre-tax retirement accounts. So for those who have a traditional 401k or traditional IRA, 73 is now the age at which you have to begin withdrawing that money out. It used to be 70 and a half, but for those that didn't know, that changed a couple of years ago, and now it's 73. And so we have to pay attention to that when it comes to our retirement planning, especially for those of you out there who may not be drawing on those retirement accounts because maybe your Social Security or pension or other sources of income are providing enough income, and you're thinking, well, Harley, I don't need to take any money out of my IRA, so I'm just going to leave it in there. I don't want to pay more taxes. Well, the fact of the matter is, the longer that you delay, that tax bomb, as we like to refer to it as, is just growing. Your accounts are going up. The market's at all-time highs. Now is the time, with the market at all-time highs and tax rates at all-time lows, to begin addressing that so we can get ahead of it.
Yeah, the 73, when that happened, because there used to be the birthday that now hopefully everybody's allowed to forget, was 70 and a half. That could only have been written by Congress. Again, who's just trying to remember that? But now it's 73, and I thought that was a good thing. I thought that was legislators realizing we're living longer, so you get to leave your money in there longer, and perhaps that's part of it, but really you're just kicking that tax can further down the road. Thankfully, they've lowered the penalty on it. It used to be a 50% penalty if you didn't take the money out. Still a pretty powerful penalty, though, at 25%. 25%. You know, and you don't want to get hit with that.
No, you don't. And here's the other thing of it, Spike, too, is, many times folks, as I just mentioned, will say, well, Harley, I don't want to pay more taxes than I have to. And if we look back to age 70 and a half, what we can start doing is looking at things like charitable distributions, qualified charitable distributions for those here in Indiana or across the country who are charitably minded, who may be giving to the church or other charitable organizations. 70 and a half is the date at which you can begin having money from those pre-tax accounts sent directly to those charitable organizations that you care about and are wanting to support. It helps you lower that tax liability, start to get ahead of those required minimum distributions, while also helping that charitable organization. And Spike, here's a great way to think about it. If we're giving, say, $100 a month to our charitable organization, the church, whatever it is, in order to get that $100, we probably got to draw $120, because 20 of it is going to pay taxes, our Uncle Sam, right, and our state income taxes. With those charitable qualified distributions, that $100 goes over as $100. You are maximizing the amount that you can give. So if you were having to draw out 120 before to give 100, well, now you can just give that whole 120 if that's what you wish to do.
Yeah, I love that concept, putting those dots together there, because if you do want to give to your church, your community, whatever it might be, through charitable giving, you're actually doing it more efficiently by doing the tax plan.
And you're increasing your monthly cash flow, because if you were taking your monthly cash flow, $100, and sending it over there, by taking it directly from that account, you're now increasing the amount of monthly cash flow that you have to help do the things that you want to do you out there, like traveling, playing golf, seeing the grandkids, all of those things, right? You can do it. There's lots of tools and strategies, and that's everything that we go over through our retirement START process, which you get access to through a free consultative appointment with us. Call that number at the bottom of your screen or use your phone, the camera function, and scan that QR code. You can schedule your own appointment or by calling a number. Our whole team of operators waiting to help you schedule a day and time to sit down with myself and go through all of these numbers with you.
By charitable giving properly, you can actually keep a little bit more of your own money. That's a brilliant, brilliant strategy. Harley, as we're doing retirement by the numbers, the big birthday numbers we've got to pay attention to, I don't know if I'm missing one. I was wondering, what age do you actually like to start the estate planning?
I knew you were going to go there with it because that is something we often talk about, but there really is no number associated with it. And the fact of the matter is, the first age at which you should start doing the estate planning, this is going to blow you away, and probably many of you out there, is the age of 18, because that's at which the point we are now considered an adult. Now, I know we may not all be really an adult mentally, right, our maturity at age 18, but the fact of the matter remains is that's the point at which you are now an adult and you need to start engaging in this estate planning. The sooner, the better. Especially the further we go through life, we build a family, we build a career, our assets, and if we do not take the proactive steps in putting together a will or a trust if that's needed, we are relying on the government's plan, which is called probate. And for anyone watching today, you can probably think of a loved one, a friend, somebody who had to administer someone's estate and go through that probate process and experience the time, frustration, and expense that comes along with it. So we want to be there to help you avoid that. Put together the right plan for you to make sure that that headache isn't a part of you, your plan, any of your loved ones.
I don't think you ever have to explain it to anybody who's ever been through, even through my loving family on both sides, when we've had to administer the estate plan, it can be tricky, trying to make sure that we're not trying to step on toes of our family members and so forth. So even just having the estate plan together to help all of your wealth plan work is important. You got 5 elements of the complete written financial plan. I would assume with the RDW Financial Group, it includes investments, income strategy, which is a spending plan, not a budget in our opinion. What's your spending plan in retirement? Social Security, taxation, Medicare review, and how to implement long-term care strategies. Harley, am I leaving anything out?
You're not. We cover the entire gambit of retirement planning and everything that touches somebody's life within retirement, to include that estate planning piece, which for those of you out there watching, you can visit rdwlegacyquiz.com to look at your estate planning piece, see if it makes sense to come back to it.
Harley, thank you very much. Folks, call that phone number down on the bottom of the screen and get started on your free written financial plan for retirement. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.